We can have these glimpses. It's like a parting of the clouds, and we see this guy, wow. And it's like the drinking of the sweetest nectar. And they are glimpses if they are not abiding. It's like the clouds part and we recognize the sky and the clouds come back in. But because we haven't recognized that we are the sky, there's a re-identification that happens with the clouds, as in, that's all I am. That's all that is the experience. And so it's like taking the sweetest nectar, and then forevermore, there is a knowing of that in our heart. But there is also then this seed of longing that seeks for that. And so that can be a very torturous sort of thing. It's almost like, I wish I'd never had that. Yet it is the sweetest nectar to know your nature, to be unveiled, even just for a second, flipped moment in time. And sometimes there can be different lengths in time of this. You know, we can have glimpses that last in time, some glimpses that are just gone, there and gone. But it's a reorientation that happens. Once you have had that glimpse, life can never not see. You can never not see that which you have tasted. And so, yeah, it is a very difficult path to find yourself on once you've had glimpses. There's pros and cons to that, obviously, as with everything. Yeah. And there can be then a thirst for those, what you glimpsed in a continued way. And fundamentally, I think it's a good setup for life, but a hard setup for life nonetheless. Now, where it gets tricky is we try and recreate that glimpse. We try and sort of look for, and actually there can be a misunderstanding of that glimpse. We're looking for the qualities and the experience of that glimpse rather than what was glimpsed. And so then we go searching for an experience, rather than what was actually happening in that glimpse was a recognition of the experiencer. But because we're so orientated to objects of perception, the objects of perception that we noticed during that glimpse were qualities that we then try and recreate. Sense of peace with life, sense of all is well, all of those, we then go looking to create them in the world, rather than the recognition of the unveiling or the resting in our nature, in the ground of our being. That is the fragrance of those, but it is the ground that is what gives rise to the sense of those flavors, not outwardly looking for them in the world. So there's broadly speaking the trickiness that people experience there. And so in terms of that, because I feel like your question is sort of in two parts there, although they are related, obviously. So in terms of that side of things, I would say, rather than looking to recreate a feeling or an experience in terms of managing your life so it looks and feels and is experienced in that way, I think a better focal point or direction of focus is into the sinking into the ground of awareness, the ground of being. So sinking into that sense of self, that sense of beingness, is going to be more helpful to unveil those veils, or to part the clouds of experiencing, let's say. Now eventually it'll be seen that actually clouds can come and go and it's not a problem. You are never not the ground or the sky. I know I'm using two very different analogies there, but it's because they work in their different ways. So yeah, that's what I would say to that, is to culture a directional, inward looking, sinking into the present moment, the sense of being, the sense of existence, that will help to further encourage those glimpses until they become abiding. It's both and. So what it is I would say first and foremost, primarily, what is important there is that transcendence recognition, that presence that you say. So it is within that presence you will notice, as awareness, as that beingness that you are, that there are unpleasant sensations. Now, those may have thoughts to them, as in a label, that, or a story even, but there is also the more innocent experience of just sensations in the physical. Again, as soon as we have the label of body, that's in the mind. So paying attention to all of that is very important. But what is fundamental is recognizing that all of this is arising within me as awareness, or whatever word you want to use that there, consciousness, spirit, being, whatever word, it doesn't matter. All of this is arising within that. And so then it comes the second part of what you were saying of actually, yes, I can sink into all of this, but I as awareness, not I as the mind body, I as awareness meets all that is arising, softens into it. What that is doing, the thank you, is opening you up to meet that which is there. The bypassing is all is good. Yeah. I don't want to feel this. And that can be, if there is a thank you, but it's actually a way of like getting rid of it and pushing it away, I would say, yes, that can be bypassing. But the thank you, if it serves as a way of welcoming, as a way of opening up to that which you're feeling, that which you're thinking, that which you're experiencing, to me, this is the opposite of bypassing. This is the meeting. And the meeting is the transmutation. Although we don't meet to get rid of, we meet to unconditionally be with. And there's where the transmutation happens. So it's not about getting rid of, fixing, keeping, all of these things. The thank you is actually just that doorway, and it's irrelevant, other than it is a beautiful doorway, gateway that stops the thinking mind in its tracks that says, no, I'm a judgment of it shouldn't be this and it should be that, and I need to fix it, and it's got to. But that thank you sort of short circuits that thinking mind that has got so much that it wants to manage with the experience. And that thank you is that doorway, that gateway of innocence that welcomes, that stays curious, that stays open with that which is arising. So that's why that thank you is so beautiful.